Hello and welcome to Cooking with Steve. Today we're going to do a kind of a specialty item. I learned this item from a friend of mine named Scott, and Scott and I taught together in Warner Springs, and it's Spam Musubi. Now, you might think that sounds kind of different. It is, but it's really delicious, and the Hawaiians, the native Hawaiians, really kind of got hooked on Spam back after the war because there was a lot of product there, and it was something that they could easily have access to and use. And the Japanese influence with sushi and things like that came in, and they would make something called Spam Musubi. So we're going to make that today. It's really simple. You're going to need some nori or seaweed wrap. You can see I went ahead and I fried up some Spam, sliced it about in 1/4 inch thick strips. You'll want some wasabi, some rice, and sugar and vinegar will be your ingredients. So let's get started. I'm going to take my bowl here and get rid of the lid off the rice. The rice is done. I pre-cooked the rice just to save some time and make it a lot easier on everyone. I used a nice rice. I really like to use Cal Rose rice when I make this dish, but I didn't have any, so here we are. So pre-cooked some rice in the rice cooker. I'm going to put that in there. And it says to use about 1/3 cup of vinegar with a 1.5 cups of uncooked rice and about 2 tablespoons of sugar. So we're going to make our sushi rice. I'm not going to measure. I'm not going to go for the 1/3. I'm just going to put some in there. And you can use a white wine rice vinegar, and it probably would work better than just distilled vinegar, but that's all I have. We'll put some sugar in there, and we're going to give it a good stir. And this is basically your ingredients for sushi rice. Maybe get a little bit more rice. Mix it all up real nice. Yeah, that looks perfect. It just looked a little damp, so I just went ahead and added some more rice. Alright, you will need to get yourself a Musubi press. It comes with a lid and the actual press. Very inexpensive. I've had mine for almost 20 years now. And what you're going to want to do is have a couple of different cutting boards. And on the first cutting board, we're going to want to wet it down. And I'm just using cold water. And you want to wet it down because you're going to be putting rice into there, and it'll stick to your cutting board. So I'm going to go ahead and put a layer of rice in. Wet my press a little bit. Press that down. You'll fill it about half full, and then it'll press back down to about 1/3 full after you press it. Alright, then I'm going to take my Spam and put it into the dish, the press. So now I'm going to use a product called wasabi. If you've never used wasabi before, be careful. It's a really spicy Asian mustard. It's kind of like horseradish. But I'm just going to put a little bit of wasabi across all of that. Smear it out on the Spam a little bit, so we get some on each bite. Like I said, wasabi is really delicious, but it's pretty potent, so be prepared for that. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and put more rice in. I'm going to fill it just slightly above the level. Let our press again. And just press that into place. And what you're doing is you're creating a nice block of rice and Spam that'll fit perfectly into the sushi wrap. Now you want to get your hands dry before you handle the nori. The nori comes in sheets, just like that. Really nice. Okay, you want to make sure that your nori is placed on the board in the right direction. One end is a little longer than the other, one side. So make sure you have that. You take your Musubi block over here, place it centered in the nori, push through with your press, and when you do, you'll kind of have a nice sandwich type thing there with your rice, layer of Spam and more rice. You're going to want to take your nori and fold it up and gently roll the Musubi block once more. Once you get that done, take a little bit of water and put it on the nori along the edge, and this will help you seal the nori. It'll get a little sticky, and then when you roll it again, it'll be a nice block. Alright, I'm going to leave that set like that. Let's prep up a little bit of soy sauce and some wasabi. So I got a little dish here. Put some soy sauce in there. Put a little bit more wasabi in there for dipping. Mix that up really good. Alright, there's that. I'm going to take a knife, and you want a really sharp knife for doing this. I'll cut all the way through, and you cut it into sushi type bites there. I'm going to go ahead and dip it in the nori, or in the soy sauce and wasabi. Oh, a little spice there. You really taste the wasabi. It's fantastic. Be sure to give it a try. Well, that concludes today's episode of Cooking with Steve. I hope you enjoyed spending the time with me, because I sure enjoyed spending the time with you. If you would, help me out by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with your friends. And as always, please remember to live modestly, speak humbly, and enjoy life fully. We'll see you next time.